The morning sun had barely risen over Willowford when the first orange cones appeared outside the city's central Mart, their bright plastic bodies gleaming like warning flares in the empty streets, and residents watched from apartment balconies with coffee mugs in hand as white HOA trucks rolled in, engines growling low like predators stalking prey. The air oddly still, except for the slow clatter of metal as a thick cordon of barricades began snaking across the four-lane entrance, cutting the Mart off from the rest of the city like an organ excised from a body. And shop owners scrambled inside, voices raised in half-panic, waving papers that no one stopped to read, while the scent of fresh bread from the bakery mixed uneasily with the tang of exhaust fumes, and the lead enforcer, Curtis Hale, a tall man in a navy jacket, moved with clipboard in hand, ticking boxes with mechanical precision as a young woman demanded to know the ordinance behind the closure, only to be met with a laminated sheet nailed to the barricade. Seal order by directive of the Willowford Homeowners Association. Words that looked absurdly powerful for a neighborhood authority, yet carried the weight of finality. And soon cars began to back up along Westbrook Avenue, drivers leaning on their horns as mothers with strollers paused mid-walk, whispering in half-fear, while a Channel 9 news van skidded into place across the street, camera already rolling. Inside the Mart, the butcher Felix slammed his palms on the counter, muttering about meat that would spoil before the day ended. And over the PA, a shaky announcement urged tenants to remain calm. Curtis's voice cut through his radio with clipped commands like Northgate secure and Team 3 hold position. Skateboarder filmed the chaos from the sidewalk. A delivery truck was turned away without ceremony, tires screeching as boxes shifted violently in its cargo hold. And all the while, the generators hummed at the barricades, powering floodlights in the bright daylight as if to make the place a spectacle. Until the Mart Cicade began to look more like a fortified prison than a public shopping space. Glass reflecting metal bars, the air filling with the aroma of fried chicken from somewhere deep inside, making the crowd restless and irritable, while shop owners huddled near the central fountain, exchanging tense whispers, the florist clutching her cash tray and Felix pacing out loud, counting the hours until his goods rotted, security officers in mirrored sunglasses circling with unreadable expressions. Teenagers in hoodies intercepted before they could reach the loading dock, and reporters prowling the perimeter for quotes, until Curtis finally stepped forward to say multiple unresolved code violations were the reason. But when pressed, gave only vague phrases about structural integrity concerns, unauthorized renovations, and noise complaints, which made the onlookers more suspicious, especially the man who shouted his wife was trapped inside, prompting Curtis to insist no one was being detained even as the gates remained locked, buses rerouting around the block, employees inside finding emergency exits sealed from the outside. Felix checking his phone for the 10th time with no message from his wife in the pharmacy upstairs. Sirens passing in the distance without stopping. The Mart's digital billboard still flashing cheerful weekend sale ads. A little boy asking why the big store was locked. Curtis reading a message on his phone with a tightening jaw before disappearing toward the rear. A janitor caught trying to climb the barricade and escorted away. Gasps in the crowd feeding rumors about hazardous materials in the basement or an HOA plot to force a sale. An older woman reading aloud a neighborhood forum post, claiming the closure was planned for months. Men debating whether the police should intervene but none appearing. Felix confronted by two silent officers photographing his display cases without explanation. The Channel 9 anchor broadcasting live with a trembling hand. Cameras panning the blocked perimeter. Curtis returning to say the closure was temporary but necessary. A voice from the crowd asking how long temporary meant without getting an answer. A helicopter circling twice overhead. The hum of fluorescent lights inside blending with the silence. And Felix leaning on the counter staring through the glass at the barricades, realizing with sinking certainty that this was far bigger than any simple code violation.